Welcome to the Obscure Files. Today, we continue our journey into the most haunted places in each state in the United States. In this video, we are exploring the most haunted place in Arkansas, a hotel that goes back to the 1800s and has a long history of mysteries that include deaths, scandals, and fraud. Before we begin, please be sure to give this video a like if you're into all things dark and weird. Consider subscribing to this channel for more videos about haunted places and ghost stories. In case you missed the last video in this series, you can find it linked in the description. The Crescent Hotel in Eureka Springs, Arkansas originally opened its doors in 1886, a hotel that served locals as well as passers-by in the Ozark Mountains. It was designed to be a luxurious retreat for the wealthy, offering stunning views, top-notch amenities, and the promise of healing waters from the nearby springs. However, behind the scenes, the Crescent Hotel faced financial difficulties. The resort was expensive to maintain, and the healing powers of the springs once promised were not enough to maintain a steady flow of guests. Other events that occurred may have led to guests staying away. For example, it is believed that in 1885, while the hotel was being built, a stonemason named Michael fell to his death. His body is said to have landed in room 218 after losing his balance from the rooftop. In 1908, the hotel was repurposed as the Crescent College and Conservatory for Young Women. It operated for more than 20 years, offering education in the arts, music, and literature. It wasn't until 1937 that the history of the Crescent Hotel would get flipped upside down, from being a place of hospitality and education into a den of fraud and death. When 1937 rolled around, a man named Dr. Norman Baker purchased the property and converted it into a hospital for those afflicted with cancer, giving it the name, the Baker Cancer Hospital. You may be saying to yourself, that sounds like an excellent idea. However, Baker was a flamboyant and notorious figure, a former vaudeville performer, inventor, and a self-proclaimed doctor who claimed to have found a cure for cancer. In other words, he was a man of many trades, skills, and personas. Before we continue, I want to thank you all for getting this channel to 700 subscribers. This is huge for me, and your support means the world. Knowing people are enjoying the videos I'm putting out really motivates me to keep producing this type of content. So again, thank you so much for subscribing, and if you aren't already subscribed, be sure you are for more content on the dark and the strange. Thanks again, and let's jump back into the video. When the transformation to a hospital was complete, terminally ill patients showed up in droves for miraculous cures. Desperate patients flocked to the hospital, often spending their life savings for treatment. But Baker was a fraud. His cure was nothing more than a mix of watermelon seed, clover, corn silk, and carbolic acid, a cocktail that did nothing to stop the progression of cancer. Many died under Baker's care. One story is of a woman believed to be named Theodora. Like many others, Theodora sought help from Baker, hoping to rid herself of her terminal illness. The con man failed to cure her, and she succumbed to her illness sometime later. However, it's believed that it wasn't just patients who lost their lives during the time of Baker's cancer hospital. It's believed that a nurse who was working with Baker fell to her death from a window. The circumstances around her death remain unclear. Some think that the nurse took her own life because of the guilt of knowing about the scheme. Others think that there was foul play involved, and perhaps Baker felt she knew too much. Baker's fraudulent practices eventually caught up with him, but it wasn't because of the lives he took away with his fraudulent scheme. He was never charged with any of the promises or the deaths that he was responsible for. He was arrested and convicted of mail fraud. The hospital was eventually shut down and Baker was sent to prison. But the dark legacy of his time at the Crescent Hotel would linger. After Baker's arrest, the hotel sat abandoned for several years. It wasn't until 1946 that the hotel was restored and reopened as a resort once again. By this time, the Crescent Hotel had gained a reputation as a place where those who allegedly lost their lives there would make themselves known from the other side. Through the years, visitors and staff began reporting strange occurrences, like doors slamming shut on their own, objects moving by themselves, and unexplained cold spots. The most commonly reported phenomenon was the sighting of ghostly figures, many of whom were believed to be former patients of Dr. Baker. It wouldn't be considered the most haunted hotel in America if it didn't have its share of resident ghosts. One resident ghost is that of Michael, the stonemason who fell to his death into room 218. Some who have stayed in or are near room 218 claim to see the apparition of a man dressed in working attire, only to disappear with the blink of an eye. Another common report is of those who come into contact with the spirit of Theodora, the woman who lost her battle with cancer in the hospital. She can often be seen grabbing and fumbling her room keys outside of room 419. Some even claim that she cleans up after guests who stay in this room, as guests have reported some items were moved around and placed back in their original position, with no explanation. It's not every day that you hear about an animal ghost, but the Crescent Hotel is said to have one. Morris, a cat who was given the title of general manager, is reported to try to make contact with the living. Many guests and staff have claimed to feel a cat brush against their legs, most commonly near Morris's photo in the lobby. Paranormal investigators have also captured EVPs, or electronic voice phenomena, of what can only be described as purring. Today, the Crescent Hotel embraces its haunted reputation, offering ghost tours and hosting paranormal investigators. The hotel has been featured on several TV shows, including Ghost Hunters. The Crescent Hotel is a place where history and the supernatural collide. From its beginnings as a luxurious resort to its dark days as a fraudulent cancer hospital, the hotel has been the site of countless tragedies and unexplained phenomena. Whether or not you believe in ghosts, there's no denying that the Crescent Hotel has a unique and chilling history that continues to intrigue visitors to this day. On the next part of this series, we are going to be traveling to the West Coast, to my home state of California, a state that has a rich history and is filled with haunted locations. Be sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss it, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you know when it goes up. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and be sure to share it with your friends who enjoy the paranormal as much as we do. Thank you so much for watching, thanks so much for 700 subscribers, and I'll see you guys on the next one.